So now it's in your 28 Oh, I know.
So there are just two e-forms that I want to show you. One is the mental health toolkit. And this was developed, I did the PSP program, the Physician Support Program for mental health. And it was a really great kit, but it's all paper-based, and they wanted you to have all these stacks of paper in your office. So my first idea was just to have a handout handler. And so this basically is thanks to Shelter. Shelter created the counting code. You'll see how it works now. And then everything else is just copied and pasted out of Shelter's work. So I don't take any credit for this stuff here. Cam is the other guy that I need to give credit to. When this was developed, if you did the PSP course, you'd understand how it worked. But Cam hasn't done the PSP course, and he kept coming to me and saying, how does this work? I don't know what to do. So I've now created it. Hopefully that's useful for other people who haven't done the course. So it's one big long e-form, it's a really big e-form, and it's continuous. And I've divided it into sections 1 down to section 4. Section 4 are the tools that I try to use. So basically, just section 1 is where you want to be in. Basically, section 1 is probably all that you need for most of your patients. And you don't have to carry on to the others. These checkboxes here, so basically when you come to section 1, you just choose what assessment forms you want to do. For whatever reason this hasn't outlined, but there should be an outline around some of these forms. You know, if you want to do a PHQ, if you want to do an MDQ, if you want to do an audit C. So that's the assessment forms that you get out of this. Then these are the handouts that came in the CBIS work folder. And you can either pick them according to the different categories, education, activation, cognition. So you can pick them by yourself, or you can use the advisor. And you can either use patient symptoms to advise you, or you can use the patient profile. So if they're sad and hopeless, you just tick that, and it will advise you. The other way you can ask, sometimes they don't have that. You can just say, oh, you have these observations for overthinker, and they'll tell you which they put on, and then you just say, so once you, this just provides the worksheet that came out of the CBIS. And then they said not to overwhelm, so you give 2 handouts. You print the handouts, and this is what happens. They're all images. I've only got 2, which should be more. I think I'm probably downloading from...
It's still downloading.
There should be all the assessment forms. If you see this all... I think this is an internet issue. It's complicated. But basically, you can print out all 50 at one time, and they'll print one after the other. They won't auto-populate with anything, because they're purely images. So then, once you've printed, you submit. I'm just thinking, yeah, I'll submit just for what it's worth. And then that's the end of it for your session with the patient. So you've seen the patient, you created some assessment forms, you submit it. You print to them, you submit. Then the patients fill out those assessment forms which you didn't see. And then the staff can come and do it for you. So they have to open up the form that you open. They don't open a new one. They open up, and it's very important that they do that. To make it easier for the staff, if they push tab, it will take them straight to the assessment tools. and then they can fill these in. I made them pink and blue because I interspaced the depression with the anxiety, and anxiety is red and depression is blue. And do this. And then when you calculate the score, there are the scores. If the patient happened to choose, this bottom line, question 16 is question 9 of your PHQ, you know, that's the suicide risk thing. If they choose that, it goes to the red bar, and we just inform our staff to pick us or message us that we should have a look at the form. There are 3 of these, and just because they're going sequentially, we can do a couple of these, and then the audit C, we do a couple of those. And then all that the staff will do is they will then submit this. They will just submit and get out of it. I'm not going to do that just to save time. So what's happened at the top here, and when you come back here, is now, oh, maybe I hadn't pushed those, sorry. Let me just print them out again. And so that's what the form would look like when it prints. So when you come back here, everything, and this is sheltered counters, everything that you've done is now gone green. And it'll still remember what forms you could do. The PHQ numbers will come in, the GAP numbers will come in, the date that they were done will come in, and also the MDQ and the audit C. So that's, and then when you see the patient again, you can see at a glance what you've done. If you do any more forms, it will come into the next box, and so you can get three PHQs in that. So that's basically your basic approach to this, and that's sometimes all you need for a patient. But if you need to go further, there are these, you need to do the course. There are these problem lists, action plans, resource lists, and those ones, I'll just show you them very quickly what they look like. Oh, sorry, it's going to, I had not checked those. They're just simple lists. You get the patient to do them, you bring them back. You can then move on to section 2 if you want. And section 2 will give you prompts as to what to do, how to identify the problems, referring to bounce back to the program, consider targeted therapy. That's based on the score from the PHQ. Consider referral to psychiatrist. And then you have to interpret what the scores are, and you'll get 3. You can get 3, and the grayed out one is one that you can bring in as a legacy from previous. That's not in the form. So that's section 2, and that's going a little bit more advanced with the patient. You can do that problem list, resource list. Section 3 is the final section, and this is your mental health care plan. In EC, we get incentive funding to do their care plan. And I've linked it up with this thing called the diagnostic assessment interview. Most of you have heard of the SIGI caps, and somebody created an even bigger one than SIGI caps. And if you do this, probably more a psychiatrist would do as an interview. It's a very comprehensive thing. To do the PSP, you have to do 10 of these. And they take about half an hour. So I created a sheet to do it, and you can pick this pre-EAI, and I'll show you what it looks like. So basically, no, I'm still getting that, I must uncheck that, sorry. If you don't uncheck them, though, but when you open it up again, all those check marks go away. So this is the pre-EAI. I give it to the patient, they will check the things there. So let's go back to this. So we go to the very bottom, and there's the staff will do this for me. How sad are you? You fail not to pay, put no. How do you rate your interest and pleasure in life? Actually, put it there, and interest pleasure in life 5. Let's just see how would you rate your interest pleasure in life. Little, let's make it 4. And how would you rate your guilt? Very high. And then you just do that. Then when you come back to your BAI form, what's happened is colors will come in. So if it's a low, then it'll be just a black color. If it's a middle, it'll be a green. If it's moderate, it'll be blue and red. And what that does is you can just concentrate on the blues and reds. So that's the mental health toolkit. As I say, you don't have to do all the sections. Section 1 is the most important, just to get the handouts. And the neat thing is that it will remind you what handouts you've done. So that's that one. And the second one that I wanted to show you is the COPD one.